Hello and welcome to the final episode of Season 3 of Big Nostalgia. This season we ventured forth into a brave new realm of GameCube and Wii games. But, like with previous seasons, there comes a time where we must sit down and rank our top 10 favourites.
Top 10? But we covered 17 games this year.
Nobody wants to watch a top 17. It's the opposite of a round number. It's a square number.
No, it isn't. 16 is a square number. 17 is a prime number.
You know what I mean.
I do, but I couldn't resist.
And as with all our top 10 videos, these rankings are our opinions. So if you love one of the games that didn't make the cut or hate the game at number 1, this list doesn't get in the way. And we'd love to see your rankings in the comments below.
We've done our deep dives into each game with what we do and don't like in their big nostalgia episodes, so don't expect our explanations to be video essays. Although we have made sure to give a good summary of why we made our choices.
This is the year of head-to-heads, and for the first time we've covered multiple entries from the same series in the same video.
Pikmin vs Pikmin 2, Super Mario Galaxy vs Galaxy 2. Which is better?
We've covered 3 whole Zelda games.
We didn't have a varied enough video game library as kids, did we?
Not really, but oh well. Shall we just get going?
Let's get to it. But first...
Honourable mention.
It's Skyward Sword!
I had this at number 10, but somebody decided otherwise.
Was it Fee?
No, because if it was Fee, she still would be explaining it to me like this.
Plus the control scheme wasn't the best. Anyway!
Remember before Mario Maker 2, when multiplayer Mario games were still a new thing?
Remember when Mario games used to get new art styles?
New Super Mario Bros. Wii is not at number 10 because it's bad. On the contrary, it's beaten like 7 games to be here. It had some interesting level design, a few cool new power-ups like the propeller mushroom and penguin suit, plus it's also the first real multiplayer Mario game. None of this Mario Galaxy second cursor bollocks, a real multiplayer experience.
The problem is that this game is not really that memorable. Granted, it's only the second of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but it doesn't really do anything to stand out except from being multiplayer. A lot of the ideas are from other Mario titles, and what new stuff this game does do hasn't left a lasting impact in our opinion.
It's not this game's fault, but its position also isn't really helped by the fact that the new Super Mario Bros. Era is now longer than the time between Super Mario World and the original new Super Mario Bros.
How about this? New Super Mario Bros.
Oh! How about this? No.
Here it is, folks. The worst 3D Mario game.
Now you've done it. Watch the angry comments come flooding in.
Or should we say, flooding in, eh?
That's what I said.
Super Mario Sunshine is an interesting game. The core gameplay loop is cleaning messes, which doesn't, on the surface, feel inherently Mario, but it grows on you once you get used to the mechanics.
In terms of concept, this is maybe one of the most unique Mario games. The way the game hides blue coins everywhere does feel like something that inspired the placement of the moons in Super Mario Odyssey. Its platforming-focused challenge levels have inspired many 3D platformers, including Odyssey, as well as indie games like A Hat in Time.
It also had such a unique story for a Mario game.
The plot was insane! Mario gets arrested for a crime he doesn't commit, the trial was rigged beyond belief by the locals, Mario gets community service, Bowser Jr. is introduced thinking Peach is his mother, and Bowser spends the whole game chilling in a hot tub! You gotta admit, it's more interesting than Bowser just kidnapping Peach yet again.
Unfortunately, this is kinda where our praise for the game ends. The game is janky as hell, and not in a good way. That pachinko machine level still gives me nightmares. This is also the 3D Mario with the smallest amount of levels, and progression is tied to you doing specific missions in each level, something that isn't in any other 3D Mario game. In 64 or Galaxy, if I don't want to do a level that's annoying me, I can compensate by doing more missions in other levels. Not here! Serena Beach can kiss my arse.
Anyway.
The end result is a game that ends up being far more frustrating than it is fun, although it can definitely still be fun.
We would admit we could have been spoiled by playing Galaxy before this, so maybe it's just unlucky.
No, you know who's unlucky? Bowser, because he gets a ridiculous voice in this game.
Mario, how dare you disturb my family vacation? Waka waka!
The bar is incredibly low, Jack Black. Floaty physics, random tripping, missing returning characters. How is this game number 8?
Subspace Emissary!
And
what? What more do you need?
whilst you could argue the most important part of a fighting game is its mechanics and its multiplayer, there is something to be said about the quality of the single-player modes in Brawl.
It's amazing! It's a side-scrolling, baddie-beating, brawling adventure. There's fully rendered cutscenes that help tell an epic story that brings in every character in the Smash world. Who knew Samus and Pikachu would be such good friends?
The presentation of the game is also a strong point. Whilst it's a bit questionable how realistic they chose to go with the art direction, the soundtrack is huge and has some great remixes of fan favourites.
But if I had to say some things that I didn't like, the Great Maze in Subspace Emissary is a bit repetitive, some of the final smashes are a bit lackluster, and nobody cares about the stickers.
But it was all worth it to see Great Fox battle the Halberd.
Seriously, can we please get a Smash Brothers movie?
Start your engines and grab your Wii wheels. In at 7th place we have Mario Kart.
No matter what you think about the motion controls or the games that have followed it, there is no denying this game is iconic. Its approachable controls and being on the already widely selling Wii meant it was a go-to for casual and non-casual gamers alike.
The courses in this iteration of Mario Kart have some series classics. Toad Factory, Coconut Mall, Wario's Gold Mine, DK Snowboard Cross.
And some weirdos even like this version of Rainbow Road.
Like me!
This game upped the number of races to 12 and even let you play as your Miis, although the competitive players would tell you it's Funky Kong all the way.
Without a doubt, Mario Kart Wii is definitely one of the best Mario Kart games.
Fancy around now?
Why? We have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
You're kind of ruining our point here, dude. At number 6, it's Super Mario Galaxy 2.
In space.
Where else would it take place? It is called Super Mario Galaxy 2.
In space.
Yes, Phil. In space. It might be weird that Game of the Year winner Super Mario Galaxy 2 didn't make the top 5, because we love this game. This game was a bigger and more jam-packed sequel that we were all looking forward to. It had a better camera, it had new planets, mechanics that they couldn't put in the first one, and it even added Yoshi to the space adventure. It was meant to take a year to develop, but it took 2.5 because of all the great new content.
So you may be asking at this point why it's not higher than the original, and it's a really tough choice to make because based on your argument, or even how you're feeling at the time, it can change. Ultimately, what it came down to for us was that Super Mario Galaxy 2 was not Mario's first outing in space, and we felt like the first game was the massive leap that made this game possible. More on that later. Super Mario Galaxy walked, so Super Mario Galaxy 2 could run.
Not just run, but spin, shoot star bits, fly, and defeat Bowser in a showdown of the ages. A story so good, they did it twice.
And with another victory, he flies off into his next adventure.
In space. Space. Right?
No, the next one was 3D Land. Try to keep up.
Originally, this game was a lot higher on my list.
And a lot lower on mine.
Long discussions were had and compromises were reached.
Even though Vicky and I enjoy similar games, it's important to note that this top 10 was definitely more split than the last two, and nothing shows us more than the placement of this game.
I feel there are many good aspects about the game outside the normal enjoyable qualities of the Zelda franchise, from the rich story involving the Twilight realm to the diverse characters such as Midna and the hero Shade. The transformations between Link and Wolf Link develops as the story progresses, and it feels natural to fight as both man and beast.
Whilst I agree that these aspects are strong, they're not the strongest and are done better by other Zelda games, including some in this list. The story is good, but it drags its feet in places, especially at the start. The characters are fun, but you also have the creepy baby dude and the creepy bug girl, and postmen who run off cliffs to their death. But don't let that make you think that I hate this game. It's got cool temple designs and fun items such as the ball and chain and the spinner. I just think other Zelda games do it better overall.
And that's why this game is at number 1.
Exactly. Wait, no!
You said it! No takesy backsies! So, I have questions
About...
how Pikmin 2 ended up beneath Pikmin 1.
Because it's possible to have too much of a good thing.
You're just mad they took the time limit out.
Believe it or not, no. That's one of my less significant issues with this game. The truth is, this game is possible to be 100% completed in less than 30 in-game days, just like Pikmin 1. And I think that unlike Pikmin 1, I never ever reached that 30-day limit. My issue is that the process of 100% completing this game is a pain in the arse. For example, I never had 100 purple Pikmin before reaching Wistful Wild, ever. So I always had to grind out getting purple Pikmin in order to pick up the dumbbell.
I don't know if I agree with you there. This game has a lot of cool stuff in it. There are 2 captains, so you can be twice as productive. There's interesting new types of enemies and hazards. Purple and white Pikmin are here, and there's a whole network of caves to explore.
I agree with you about the 2 captains and the new Pikmin. It certainly expands the adventure in interesting ways. I think my main issue is the caves. For starters, time doesn't move whilst in the caves, which takes away the pressure to keep moving through. And some caves have randomly generated layouts, which incentivizes reloading your save until you get a good map.
The caves aren't the whole game though, and there's still plenty to explore. I especially like how in this game they double down on the idea that this is a post-apocalyptic Earth. I guess it comes down to how you enjoy Pikmin. Are you a scavenger or a fighter?
Or are you a goldfish with a laser gun? That's health regenerates even after death. What the fuck was this?
It's called nature, and it's beautiful. A long time ago in a galaxy exactly like this one. No, I better stop.
Vicky, what are you doing?
Trying to think of interesting ways to introduce games.
You know Disney's just gonna copyright strike this video if you use too much Star Wars stuff, right?
Aha! I am the master of an evil corporation!
Is that a bit from the Simpsons movie? Which is also owned by Disney now. Aren't we supposed to be talking about Super Mario Galaxy?
Ah yes, Super Mario Galaxy, an innovation of 3D platforming. Mario changed the game when he first went to 3D back in 1996, and then he changed it again with this game, which takes a 3D experience even further.
This game was a first of its kind. All of a sudden we were exploring planets and flying through space, fighting new exciting bosses in new exciting ways. The soundtrack was orchestral for the first time ever, which gave it a grand, otherworldly atmosphere. The hub was big and interesting with lots of areas to explore and characters to meet, most important of which was Rosalina, who has remained a Mario staple ever since her debut.
However, being first of its kind, the gameplay could be challenging to get your head around, sometimes literally as the camera had to adjust to Mario defying gravity.
Wicked.
And some of it was just plain weird, like force feeding Lumas until they explode.
Hey, not a bad way to go.
They don't die, they just become planets, which is weirder. Despite Sunshine, despite Twilight Princess, despite Mario Galaxy, why do I feel like this is our most controversial ranking?
Because we covered so many good games in Season 3, and I still put Pikmin as my number 1.
You might be the only person in the world who ranks the original Pikmin this highly.
Well, let's explore that, shall we? You are Olimar, captain of the Dolphin, who crash lands on a mysterious world. Upon waking up from the crash, you discover your ship has fallen to pieces, and you have 30 days to rebuild it. The local life forms called Pikmin are here to help. Fixed parameters, clear objective, hop to it.
But there was so much more stuff in Pikmin 2.
Well, yes and no. We've talked about it in other videos about how more is not always better. There was so much good stuff added in the sequel, but it still doesn't top the novelty and simplicity of the original. I still try new strategies to this day. There is something so addictive about a fixed problem with set parameters that you can keep trying to solve in new ways with new techniques. Even if there's a good chance a dying enemy will push your Pikmin out of bounds.
So with all this talk of optimised problem solving and the perfect game to find the best way to play, I assume you'll be speedrunning this soon?
Hell no, that's too much work, even for me.
So it's an optimisation problem, but it's not that optimised.
Just how I like it.
This game was designed for you, Phil.
Right? Which just leaves...
Drum roll, please.
Is that necessary?
It's for dramatic effect.
I'm pretty sure people can guess by now who's won.
Please, 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 please.
Fine.
Wrong.
That's not a drum roll.
It's a Zelda-style drum roll.
Wait, you're telling me Just Dance didn't win?
No, it's Wind Waker. It's awesome. The end.
A bit more than that, please.
Drop mic. No, it's super awesome. I mean, this game had it all. Great story, amazing setting, a different and engaging look, which fans either loved or hated.
Like Marmite. Or Tingle.
Yeah, sure, like Tingle. Wind Waker's look made it stand out compared to the other Zelda games. The cartoony style brought a different element to the gameplay and graphics of the game. The game takes place in a unique setting, a world covered in water. This has the player relying on an original way of getting around, the king of red lions. There is nothing quite like sailing the high seas, and despite attempts in later games, no other Zelda has quite matched it as a way of exploring the world.
All this aided by a great soundtrack, a colourful cast of characters from pirates to grandmas, and the most expressive Link ever.
Made even more expressive when he could take selfies in the HD versions.
Nah, I don't like him anymore. Bloody selfie-taking millennials.
You're a millennial?
Say cheese!
Ugh.
The number 1 game of Big Nostalgia Season 3 is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Whoop whoop!
Whew! That may be our most controversial ranking ever.
And the hardest for us to rank. We disagreed on nearly every choice, which is weird because the N64 lists were easy.
Agree? Disagree? Let us know in the comments.
We hope you enjoyed this third season of Big Nostalgia.
We'll be back with more videos soon. In the meantime, keep an eye on the Twitter for updates.
But until then, I've been Vicky.
And I've been Phil.
See you next time.
Bye! Hi, Editing Room Phil here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't seen it already, please check out the small but significant channel update we did like a couple of months ago. It has some really important information as to what to expect in the next few months. Anyway, this has been a massive season, 16 episodes and a full top 10. Whew. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.